go by then. I think with the weapons and Josh Allen, I think they are just so motivated.
Got practice, baby. And we got 2 more rings to prove it. And they're going to get 1 more.
So let's get through some divisional round playoffs because I got questions I still got to ask you, and we are just eating up time right now. So, Michael, we're going to go through divisional rounds. I'm going to give you a team. Just give me who you think is going to come out on top on this one, okay? So we got Texans going to Kansas, and so this is a big test for the Chiefs. Coming off of a bye week, let's see how ready they are to three-peat. Who do you got in this game?
Pretty obvious right here. It's Kansas City. I didn't think Houston was going to beat the Chargers, but Justin Herbert, thanks for proving me wrong. Guys, it's over. I mean, you can basically, like, it doesn't matter if I get the other 3 games right, because Kansas City's three-peating. It's like the team who won a lot of one-score games. People were making fun of them for, and Kansas City was like, we got practice, baby. And we got 2 more rings to prove it, and they're going to get 1 more. It's the easiest decision I've ever had to make. I think Chiefs. I would say Chiefs by 20. I feel that confident, but you know what? It doesn't matter. Chiefs by 1 score. You know why? Because they can do it.
That's a good one. I'm going to go with the Chiefs as well. I'm curious, though, with how the defense played with the Texans, if that will show up as well, because that could change some things. But I do think that the Chiefs, they are motivated now. We're in their new season where they're really fighting for now that 3rd Super Bowl. They're going to three-peat, just like you and I have three-peated. So, all right, Rams going to Philly. Who do you got in this one? And I will say, weather forecast is suggesting Philly will have snow during the game. So, does that change your pick with whoever you choose?
Now, obviously, I'm rooting for the Rams. This is Philadelphia. I mean, LA is used to like playing in LA. Like they are playing in really great weather. Matthew Stafford used to play in Detroit too. So he always had an indoor stadium and he would struggle in cold weather games. Philadelphia, they just have all the pieces defensively. They have Saquon Barkley, who should have had a chance at the rushing record this year. Jalen Hurts looks healthy. They have A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith. It's not going to be a big like air attack game, especially if it's snowing. So I'm taking the better run team, and I trust Philadelphia to get 10 yards on 4 rushes more than I do the LA Rams getting anything in 4.
I will say this is what's difficult. The Rams, I think, are underrated now that they're healthy. I think people are forgetting when they came into the season, they were NFC like contenders in terms of the preseason and projections. And I think now that they are all kind of healthy and bringing it all together, I think the Philadelphia Eagles should be on upset alert. So I'm going to go on a limb, and I'm going to say, as my daughter runs in the camera, I'm going to go on a limb and say that the Rams are going to upset Philadelphia just because Matthew Stafford with the weapons. I do think Karen Williams rushes a lot, but I just don't like how Philadelphia offensively played in their last game. That really concerns me. And I think the Rams have an opportunity here to upset. Maybe not even an upset, because realistically, they're the ones that went to the Super Bowl and won, where the Eagles did not. So we'll see. All right, Baltimore going to Buffalo. Who do you got, Mike?
This is the tough one.
Yeah.
This is the coin flip. Buffalo, I feel like I always like underestimate Buffalo, and then Josh Allen makes plays with his legs. James Cook is a huge factor now, but Amari Cooper has been like not Amari Cooper. I don't know if it's learning the new system. I don't know if it's learning routes. I don't know what, but he and Josh Allen just don't have the chemistry like Amari's had with other quarterbacks. Baltimore, this is what I was telling people. Baltimore's recipe was to get Derrick Henry and Lamar Jackson to the playoffs healthy. And the rest is history, because I think the only team that really could stop Baltimore is Baltimore or Kansas City. They're either going to stop themselves or they're going to run into the Chiefs. And so for me, Derrick Henry, Lamar Jackson, they're just unbeatable. It'll be Yeah, it'll be Baltimore winning.
Every year I've basically said that Baltimore is on the cusp of cutting through. And I've also said that Buffalo is a team that they always look like they're the most ready team, and then they falter when it matters the most. For me, I think I trust the Buffalo Bills just because this year they feel like they're ready to break through that barricade that's been holding them back. And here's my thing. In Buffalo, in the snow, I think it is a huge advantage to Buffalo, even though Baltimore is in an area that does experience snow. I'm not trying to say that they won't be prepared, but with how cold it gets and getting hit that often, especially in that cold weather, I think it is going to affect, Derrick Henry. It's going to affect Lamar. Is Zay Flowers going to be ready to go by then? I think with the weapons and Josh Allen, I think they are just so motivated to where it may not be like a blowout, but I do think that the Bills just come out on top, and I trust their defense a little bit more than Baltimore. I have questions about Baltimore's secondary. So I think that the Bills, this is their time to really push forward, because I'm really counting on a Chiefs and Bills AFC championship, because I do want to see if the Bills can actually topple over the Chiefs, or if the Chiefs are just going to big brother the Bills all over again. But that doesn't happen if the Bills don't take care of business. But I trust that the Bills will take care of business. And Jason looks like is siding with me as well for that one. All right, final game, Michael. Commanders going to Detroit. Do you think Commanders here upset the Lions?
So this is a very interesting game for me for several reasons. One, you have the Washington Commanders, who have a rookie quarterback. They have a head coach who, can fumble away some games, especially in the postseason. Talking about 28-3 against the Patriots, that lead in the Super Bowl. You're also talking last year's atrocity against the Green Bay Packers. Then you have Detroit, who is at home. Their only two losses have been at home, by the way. They're without Kevin Zeitler in this game. And if you're looking at what the Detroit Lions have right now, we talked about it. Ben Johnson looking towards his future. Aaron Glenn looking towards his future. Do either of those coaches start looking a little too far ahead? And that's where I think it could hurt them. They have that bye week, and the head coach or the coordinators are already looking to be a head coach in the NFL. So it's tricky because you can either see a rookie quarterback falter, but I am going to go ahead and pick the upset. Who knows if I'll feel the same way tomorrow on Out of Pocket?
Sure.
But as of now, my gut is telling me Washington wins this. And I hate that as a Cowboys fan, because that means if Washington wins and Philly wins, that means one of my rivals are in the Super Bowl. I just feel like Detroit is going to just lose it. And I don't trust Dan Campbell as much as many other people do, because gambling comes with high risk and high reward, and he might be left with no reward.
Yeah, Jason here says that Campbell will go for it on fourth down at least 3 times. Yeah, that's actually probably an under number. He'll probably do it more. Here's the thing. I totally agree that I think that it's not, I wouldn't call it a distraction, but I think a lot of the news behind Aaron Glenn getting a bunch of interviews, Ben Johnson as well, they will not be returning onto the team. I think that's a foregone conclusion. They all kind of know this. I think the last team, though, that kind of experienced this, where all their coordinators were about to be hired by a bunch of other teams, was the Philadelphia Eagles, the year that they went to the Super Bowl. And then, as everyone knows, the following year, they crumbled because they didn't have the coordinators that they'd have for previous years. And it was just a huge adjustment. I think with David Montgomery coming back into this game, so there's that 1-2 Sonic and Knuckles again, along with Amon St. Brown, Williams, which I think is huge, Sam Laporta, the defense. I don't think they're going to shut out the Commanders by any stretch of the imagination, but I do think Aaron Glenn could dial up something that can put a little bit of a pause on Daniels just, carving up the Lions like he did against, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I think the Lions here will come in more prepared. I think the week off, I think we'll see rust, but I think what'll happen is as the game carries on and the Lions kind of get into their groove, I think that they will come out on top. But I do think the Commanders will push them to the brink of elimination. I'm not trying to say that the Lions are going to beat them by 3 scores or anything, but I do think Commanders may get close, like within a field goal, maybe lose by less than a touchdown. But I do think that the Lions are going to be on their heels because, like what you said, the bye week is going to kind of come into effect. All the interviews and kind of the distraction behind the coordinators not being there, I think that does play a factor. But Detroit is so strong in Detroit itself. It's really hard to bet against them. So I'm going to go Lions. As you say, Commanders. We'll see what you say tomorrow on your show. And we'll hold you to whatever you say tomorrow. So we'll do that.
All right. I have 24 hours to change my opinion.
Yeah, there you go.